Hey guys, how's it going? Just making sure my mic and everything's on. Hold on. Trying this a different way because my audio was so screwed up. One of the last videos I did, and I want to avoid that hopefully. Hey, I'm Alex, Rogue, September Angel, RJ, Jamie, Mimi Jean, Cold November Rain. How's it going, guys? And everybody else that is watching. So, all right. I have a lot to say on this subject. I don't even know where to begin. You guys, this I think is the first time that I actually have taken notes and kept track of lies, and I have proof even of certain lies in this video. I see where this is headed again. There's things that I know happening behind the scenes, and that's what I told you guys like I don't know, one of my last, like a couple weeks ago, I told you that I knew that Ryan was talking to Frank. There's other things I also know. And and you know what we do here, we show proof of what we say and where it comes from the most we can. Obviously, there's going to be some stuff. Ryan knows his truth. He is a lying piece of shit grifter. Dude, we're going to get to all that. It's unreal. And I didn't even know until Fred told me that put me and Fred's picture up when he's talking about grifters. You guys, I have a lot to say about this, and I'm going to show proof. And it's not going to make Ryan look good. First, though, I guess we could start while we're waiting for people to get here. We can point out certain other things that not specifics about the video, but while we're waiting, I can show a lot of things here that do not look right as soon as I first look at this. Actually, now it looks more normal, but it's still not normal. This amount of likes, guys, to this amount of views is not normal. That is absolutely fraudulent data. He is buying views. 492 likes to 288 views is absolutely insane. Nobody gets that. And the ratio was way worse even when he first took this off. By the way, members only. We're going to get there. I have never done a members only live, guys, ever. So so we could see something's up if he is. First of all, we've seen him go from one. He's changed his channel. He's changed his, like, what he does in his life over and over and over again. It's clear he's trying to become famous. It's clear he's grifting. Then today, look what I noticed. We know he has a Satanist living in his home, okay? We know his daughter. He talked about how he wanted to let his kids, like, explore, be able to be open or whatever he said. But tell me what Christian would have a Satanist living in their home, a practicing Satanist who it has right on her Facebook that she's part of his daughter, part of the Tennessee Satanic Sisterhood, and she lives in Ryan's home. Then we see a mockery towards God right here. Ryan puts crosses on all his freaking, and he puts, "Seek and ye shall find." He uses quotes from the Bible. This is a mockery and blasphemy and disgusting for any of you Christian people out there. But then you go down, okay, when he first started posting, you go down to these, and there's like a lot of people, like you could tell, are just bots commenting, and they're like, thank you, Mr. Hill, Mr. Hill, Mr. Hill. Like, nobody talks like this. Look right here. Ryan was not only a great interview and very professionally done, also answer all my questions. Thank you, Ryan and Mr. Hill. Respect. Is Fred Hill back in jail currently? No. For clearing up the rumors. There's a lot of people in here I've never seen. Anyways, he's definitely buying views. Anybody who's a creator knows that this is not normal. Likes to views. He's not avoiding me. He's been purchasing views since the beginning. He's also behind a lot of these AI channels. So I guess we're gonna, this is gonna be one of the first times that I talk about one of Ryan's videos. Because I was waiting for him to put this stuff out, and let's, I guess, just go ahead and start. I don't know what else to say as far as, let's listen, I guess. If for some reason it gets taken down, guys, I have it recorded, so. Yeah, there's so much misinformation in this, guys. You have no idea. He doesn't understand what I freaking know. He's such a liar. Okay, so he's saying that since he blurred a driveway, Frank supposedly reached out to him because I guess like he thought he was respectful. I guess Frank really hasn't been watching very closely. So, but you can't blame the guy if he hasn't been watching closely. Ryan comes off like this really nice guy. Really, I mean, he's got this like this really innocent look to him. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Okay. Well, he hasn't said anything yet. So, of this investigation. Frank Hill, the son of the property owner, reached out to me. He wanted to set the record straight. He wanted to explain exactly what happened that day, what TBI was looking for, and why his family, specifically his father, Paul Hill, found themselves in the middle of this case. When TBI arrived on, I'm going to tell you guys a big shocker. There's going to be what somebody like this freaking clown would call breaking news. So, and would probably put it on a members only. Yeah, I'm going to put out some new information you guys have not heard. And my guess, this guy knows and is keeping it to himself. There's also other things he knows. And I don't know why, but that's the same reason, way he reached out to me and Fred. He tried to act like, oh, I want to clear Fred. I want to do, you know what I mean? And then it was like, soon after he was buddies with Andy and doing the same thing for Andy. Now he's doing the same for this family, trying to act like he's like there for them, clearing their name, just like he was just, oh, there's another thing too. I guess they've turned on Bill Shipley again, guys. That's a new one. They're no longer friends with Bill Shipley. But they were just talking about him and Nana on a panel how if we would have listened to Ziggy and Fred about Crazy Bill, then we would have thought he was the worst guy ever. Well, what happened? What happened? From what I'm hearing, Bill's going around saying you guys screwed him over and lied about him. Trouble in Paradise, eh?
But they weren't just knocking on doors. They had a search warrant with specific targets.
Duh.
Frank Hill was home when the convoy arrived. Unmarked cars, federal agents, and a complete lockdown of his father's property. He was a son barred from his own family's land. When you first showed up, when you first found out that there was a whole bunch of cars on your dad's property, what happened? What did you witness? What did you see? How did that all play out?
I was at home and suddenly I had the convoy of like cars went up, and none of them were marked at first. I didn't think much of it, and then someone stopped by and inquired about how there's so many cars at that. So I took and went out there and pulled up, and they told me the property was closed and told me to leave. Told you to leave? Yes. It was closed to leave.
He's not also. Hey, Sammy! Wow, you're probably like the longest member ever. No, supposedly they don't like Bill anymore. They're not besties anymore, Blue Bella. I guess they're back to thinking Bill Shipley's crazy again. It's whatever is convenient for them at the time, is what it looks like to me. So missing information here. He doesn't tell exactly what really happened. He's trying to paint things differently, guys. And I understand that, him wanting to protect this family and stuff, and not, but he's also keeping information from you guys, like the truth of what really happened, and trying to paint things differently. You can't, if you are truly wanting justice for Summer Wells, you can't do it like that. If this is what you're going to do, if you're going to put out if you're going to like keep things out and lie and exaggerate about things, then don't say anything at all. I know that, I guess I can address that real quick, Act Right. Even though this is not what it's about, but I do want to say this because I don't want the person that sent me that text message to continue getting more hate, because you also misunderstood me. I did not think that message was that I posted on my community wall. I never thought that was about me. I knew who it was about. It was just, I knew also it was a few months ago, and it's not what caused me a mental breakdown. I had that message for months. I was just showing what was happening behind the scenes and what that particular person was up to and how he was getting people rallied up. But that's not what this is about. But yeah, I knew that message was not about me in particular, but I did know people were getting messages like that about me. But no more of that. We'll talk about that later. True crime people generally want just they shouldn't follow a narrative. I think true crime, it should be about actually like facts, and he puts truth in his name, and he's not really about truth. He's about whatever works best for him.
So I did. Did they know who you were? You were son? I announced myself. I told them they had no concern. Second time I went back, it was the cold shoulder. So I went back home. I eat. 20 minutes later.
So, by the way, he wouldn't have been seeing what they were taking off the property or anything because he's at home eating.
pulled even further up into the property, and so I was like pushing people out of the way with the stuff and stuff. And then I didn't leave when they told me to, and finally, to get an agent came back and started speaking to me. And I told him who it was, and he told me his version of what was going on.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was kind of a joke. I mean, a waste of time, not a joke.
Oh, really? How is it a joke when I'm about to tell you guys? I'm waiting till more people get in here because I'm to tell you the new information that Ryan is failing to mention here. This all wasn't like out of nowhere. It was not like it was just a joke and a big waste of time. Come to find out, Paul's name had come up before, earlier on in the investigation. I didn't know this until recently, and I found this out through somebody else. Well, somebody else who has been talking to Frank. Ryan is not the only person that has been talking to Frank. He's failing to tell you certain accusations that were against Paul and about a certain girl that was questioned. So I guess I should go ahead and say it. There is a girl, and I don't even know if I should even say her name. I don't know exactly who she is, but this is alleged. And I was recently just told this, but earlier on, supposedly soon after Summer went missing, there was supposedly a girl who was questioned because of a ladder rack that they saw in her yard. And that is allegedly how they first got alerted to Paul Hill. And they had asked this girl questions like if there was anything, if Paul had ever been inappropriate with her. And this was supposedly earlier in the investigation. So it is kind of weird that years later we now have him, a search warrant. If that is true, I don't think I'm going to put this girl's name out because of not having absolute proof of this, And if that is true, what this girl and this came directly from Frank. Why would they be asking this girl about inappropriate things with Paul? They had questioned her about this ladder rack. And from my understanding, it's somehow tied back to Paul. They have to have a very, very, very good reason to do a search warrant, guys. There is supposedly other things that Frank has been saying. Like when his dad was under the influence, supposedly at the hospital, because he broke his leg at church or something, doing something. And supposedly the staff had alerted law enforcement some things he had been saying when he was under anesthesia or whatever. He was on medication and was supposedly making some statements. This is another thing Frank had said. But you can't really, I mean, is that really enough to get a search warrant? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think so. I would think that they would have to have a really freaking good reason. I don't know how old she is, but I asked that same question. So I'm sure Ryan knows some of this stuff, if I know some of this stuff. And he's keeping certain things quiet. And you guys, I wouldn't even want to say this shit. Like, certain, I mean, but I think it's important for Summer Wells, for one. It sucks because it is technically family to Fred. But, you know, it sounds like Ryan took it upon himself to put me and Fred's picture up when he talks about grifting in this video. Yeah, we're going to get there. Are you serious, Goudry girl? See, we have confirmation. Thank you for making confirmation, at least in backing that Goudry girl. So it's not just me. It's not Ziggy. You know, she just lies. And Ryan's sitting there telling Frank too, like feeding Frank, telling that, oh, Fred's just changed his stories. Anyways. So Goudry girl says, I bet that is the same one that sat on my friend's couch and told us the same story. Thank you for confirmation. Yeah, and until I have more like proof on this, I'm not going to say a girl's name, you know what I mean? And this is just alleged. And supposedly this was like years ago. So I guess like when I first was told this, I thought it happened recently. Like around the search, this recent search. But no, and when I learned that this actually happened years ago about this girl being questioned about Paul, I'm like, well, that's highly suspicious. If Paul came up earlier on in the investigation, and now we have a search at his house, that is kind of a big red flag. And these are the little big red flags that Ryan is hiding from you guys, you know? And I hate to be the person that has to be the one to put this out and put the truth out every time, because of these liars who want to try to confuse and manipulate the public and their opinions, when really Brian and this guy are up to some kind of, you know, what's it called? Racketeering, or what's it mean? They're sharing the profits, guys. Prove to me you're not, Ryan. Tell me you're not. We're going to get there too. Oh, guys, I've never had to pay a person ever for an interview, ever. And it's highly suspicious. I'm hearing from people that Frank would not talk to people unless you paid him. And that he was wanting to sell pictures and videos of his property and needing percentages and stuff. Guys, when it comes to a missing child, it shouldn't be like, now it would have been nice, you know, if Ryan would have maybe like just off or gave him some of the money from, and just gave it to him for, you know, like, but it shouldn't ever be a deal, like some kind of deal up front. Like, if I won't talk unless you give me this. This is the same type of song and dance that we heard with Marlena Crawford, Andy Bernard, and now supposedly this guy. And all of them, you know, that. I have text timestamp from when Summer first went missing. I'd say red flag, but warranted a search warrant, right, Paula? Thank you, Goudry girl, for speaking up and your experience. Like, so I'm guessing you're a local then, or so you know that this did, the woman that you're talking about, which you can email me, Goudry, and I can tell you, I don't know the last name. I don't even know who she exactly is. Like, I assumed she was a younger girl, but like, I don't know, like, for sure. And I don't know how exactly they met. I'm under the impression she lived on the same road, but I don't know for sure. I don't know. I plead the fifth. It's very suspicious. And I have more, guys, to freaking show you. I have absolute proof of him sitting here lying in this video for some reason, and I don't understand why. And maybe you guys could figure out why exactly he lies in a upcoming clip. And I'm going to show absolute proof that he's lying. So I don't know why. I don't understand it. I've tried to figure this out forever. I don't understand it, guys. It's freaking confuses the hell out of me. As well as her and my other friend also. That is why we were so amazed when it took so long for them to check. Do you remember something about a ladder rack being talked about, Goodry Girl? No, it has to do with the vehicle, Don Wells wrecking at the end of the driveway. I want to wait till we get to that part because I'm trying to be organized because I'm getting all ahead of myself. I took notes though because I didn't want to miss anything on this one. So, Goodry Girl, do you remember something about a ladder rack being mentioned? Did she say something about like being asked about a ladder rack in her yard? I mean, I'm kind of confused by the story of how it went from that to did Paul Hill like ever act inappropriate to you? I don't understand how it went from that. I don't understand it, but that is what Frank was saying to somebody. Many people lie for free, so I can't say I would believe him with paid for free. Plus, the creep isn't going to tell himself anyways. Honestly, Ryan's the perfect person to do this type of dirty work. He's like a wolf. I mean, he looks the part. He has the very soft, feminine voice, and I don't mean that in a I just think he just comes off like a nice guy. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with his soft voice. I'm just saying he has the whole persona. So, all right, let's keep going, or this is going to take forever because I have a lot to show you guys. I think. I don't know how much of this, like some of it, I don't even know if I'm going to put out because if he starts lying and Ryan starts putting out lies, I'm going to have to fucking counteract it with the truth. That's all I'm saying. So, balls in your court, Ryan, as far as being honest and the shit you put out, because there's certain things I know, and it has some of it, a lot of it has nothing to do with the Summer Wells case, because if it did, I wouldn't be keeping it to myself, but it does show character. And for some odd reason, Ryan's really trying to paint this family as like, and I say family, obviously it's family of even Fred, but I mean that close family. I'm talking about father and sons there. He's trying to paint them as like these very clean cut, don't have record people. And he's just completely lying to you guys. She's probably in her late 30s. She said he wasn't as nice as everyone believes, and she's probably in her late 30s. Do you remember something about her talking about a ladder rack? All right, let's.
So, figured I'd really get into the middle of it and figure out what was really going on. So, I suggested that they might want to know where the remains are buried, and that got a lot of attention, and I finally was accepted amongst the crowd.
The TBI was following a lead that was detailed in the warrant that they had in
So
hand,
basically, he made a joke about a Summer's remains, which I don't understand why anybody would make a joke like that. But he did, and I don't know. So, Goodry Girl, did she tell you she talked to law enforcement? The only reason, Blue Bella, that I've watched this and even gave him a view is because obviously it's Frank, and it's the first time we've heard of him as far as on YouTube. And he knew that people would want to hear this, and he put it behind a paywall. Yep. You guys, I'm gonna lose my mind at the end of this. So just wait, guys.
But when Frank mentioned remains, they stopped treating him like an outsider and decided to start letting him show them parts of the land that were important. Frank signed a consent form, and then the search of the area that involved where the hogs were buried ensued.
Followed up with when he slaughters, any livestock, he takes it to my property, which is next door. I have 7.5 acres, and he buries it there because I have a big compost pile. They wanted to ask if they could search it, look at it, whatever, and I told them, get it over with, get it done. I don't want to deal with all this. So
consent form and everything.
Yes, full consent form.
You just wanted them done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but makes a joke about Summer's body.
So we went up to my property and
Frank Hill.
Searched it.
Hey, Lolly.
Several cadaver dogs over it. So maybe an hour.
Yes, okay.
And that was it. We were done.
While Frank's land was cleared in an hour, his father Paul's property was completely dismantled. Divers searched the pond, agents searched the house and the barn. They left behind a mess, but no arrests.
Okay. Left behind a mess, but no arrest. Something that he's not mentioning to you guys right here. Paul and his wife were taken in for questioning for many hours. And his wife got really hostile with law enforcement. And from my understanding, like flipped out on him, like cussing him and stuff. But Ryan's not telling you that when this is happening, Paul and his wife are taken in to the sheriff's office for questioning. Why is he not mentioning these things to you guys? Why is he leaving these little things out to paint this story, to paint this narrative, instead of just telling how it is? Like, as this independent journalist that he wants to be, you're supposed to be unbiased. That's how you have a reputable, channel and keep integrity.
The black part says search warrant was for any documentation or parts cases related to the Tacoma. That was what the warrant was for. He actually admitted that.
That is
that's what he told you.
This is the only thing that.
Did they tell you at any point what the reason they had showed up?
He said related to the Summer Wells case.
Okay, that's all they said until that message when he admitted.
And that's because I'm interrogating. I kept looking to the point that he gave me something.
So where is the truck now? Frank insists his father's truck never had a ladder rack and didn't match the Bolo or Be on the Lookout flyer. He also admits the truck is gone. And the story of where it went involves this.
Okay. And another thing he's not telling you right here. No, the truck didn't have a ladder rack, but it had a cattle rack. And to people who don't, like somebody like me, I probably wouldn't know the difference. Most people out there in the country, like, yes, Fred's going to know the difference. You country folk are going to know the difference. City people like myself, or I don't know if I'm city, suburban, whatever, people like myself, like I wouldn't know the difference really. Closer to mic, yes. Hold on. Let me also. I'll turn up my mic. Okay. Bias by omission. Yes, exactly, Jamie Brown. Wasn't there a cattle rack on it? What about the other brother? Right. Well, I don't know. Fred doesn't seem to know much about him. I don't think he lives around there. I don't think I don't know. I hear Fred coming this way, so he might have some input on that. I don't know. No, I don't think so. He doesn't seem to know much about Randy.
Of confusing updates by the TBI. Frank told me that the truck was sold to a local buyer first. He claims he even saw it a year later at a gas station in Baileyton, mixed up with a new hood and a bed liner. There were rumors going around about the Tacoma that PI said it ended up in South America. There's some rumors about it being sold at one point. What do we know about if your own? I've got actual information that when I see miles, and I have my suspicion of how it might have ended up going through the deal. If it, okay. But start with 400,000 miles on it. It was. These are not gentle miles. These are work miles. Farm truck, right? Yes, I'm talking like it was all. The truck it never went up for sale. Someone offered money for it, like they offered to buy it, and it went. I mean, that's it. Remember, it was at a house in Baylor for a long time. Never seen it like sitting there. Like, after you sold
South America.
It sit there for a long time. And then I seen the guy at the gas station and talked to him just a brief moment, and it just listed all the things that got replaced on it. It looked a lot better than it did. A lot better.
So you had actually talked to him about it?
Yeah. Okay. For 5 minutes in the parking lot. Like,
this is a person who lives in the neighborhood?
I don't know. It was parked at that house. And then after I seen it at the gas station and talked to the guy.
Paula says you can put a ladder rack or a ladder on a cattle rack, so it's all the same. Hey, Kathy. Maybe the same gas station Candace was out. Yeah, the South America thing, I don't know where. I didn't hear that's really that story, but he comes up with a theory which tells me that he's into some kind of illegal activity. He's talking about sending money over the border and stuff. And how you do it, I don't know. I've never thought of that.
Never noticed it at the house again. So
your dad did say, you don't know who he sold it to?
No.
Frank describes the situation as a 400,000-mile work truck that was sold locally and likely ended up in a well-known export pipeline to the south.
No, this whole South American thing. And you are from the if anywhere near the interstate, they need to exit the jerk stops. It's uncommon to see, especially where they some pick up older, used, towing another one. And in the bed of them, there'll be either stuff like boxes moving or sometimes four-wheelers, motorcycles, whatever, and they're in tow and they're headed south. Like,
why do they do that?
Well, you can't take lump sums of money over the border, can you?
Well, that's how they bring money.
You can't take lump sums of money over the border, can you? What is that? I don't understand that. So that sounds like he might have been into some kind of, which I know he has been, because that's another thing too that I was going to mention later on this video, this clean record and stuff that he's trying to paint. Like, that's not freaking true at all. Like,
I guess they try to paint a truck as an older beat up. There's
work truck, you know, and I've never known it was being like that. It's always been a real nice truck from every time I've ever seen him out in it.
Every time Fred saw it, he was saying that he always thought it was a nice truck. Oh, what color red?
Light colored red.
Light.
Not a candy apple, but a lighter red.
Yeah.
But a really nice truck. A lot better truck than what WC's mom's truck.
Yeah. Make a list of what facts are leaving out intentionally. I bet it points to something significant. Oh, I have a whole freaking notes here. I've never taken notes before, and I need to. I need to have been doing this forever because I'm so spacey, and I guess ADHD, and I never knew it until I started YouTube. But let me read here what and make sure I haven't. Where did it? I don't even understand. There is what? Can you come here so people can hear you? I know you don't want to put anybody's name out there, but it's 11:11, guys. Right when I look down. Yeah, this guy is probably dangerous, but there's somebody in a person in Ballington with South American ties. So it's weird that he's talking about South America and taking things South America. That is kind of interesting. My friend who is Ryan talking to, I missed that part. Oh, this is Frank Hill. Frank Hill, Paul Hill's son. Paul he earned a living. He's a well-known like butcher in the area. A lot of the locals get their meat there. They come there. He has like an honor system. Even when he's not there, you could leave money and grab some meat from the freezers. He has a lumber business. So he has hogs there on the property. And they mentioned here, I guess that was a focus of what the law enforcement was interested in. I mean, I do appreciate Ryan doing this video. I'm not gonna like say I don't, but because he is the first to get Frank on video, even though he paid him, but and he's trying to paint it like he didn't, but he's paying him. That's part of this whole deal. Don't fucking lie. You know, and when you involve money, guys, that then brings in the incentives to when somebody is so money focused, it makes things get like blurry. It blurs the lines. People start to get a little bit selfish and they start painting narratives, exaggerating, all to get views. And he's see right now, you can tell that there's some kind of business relationship going on because Ryan refuses to tell the truth. He's hiding things for this guy. He's not even telling you guys the truth. So he's doing that because he doesn't want to burn his relationship with this guy. But where's his loyalty stand? You know? It should never be a money transaction when it comes to journalism and stuff, or interviewing people. If it does get to that, if somebody's asking for money, like now, if you want to offer them like a little bit of money because to thank them, as an interviewer, like that is understandable. Maybe like after the fact, I could totally understand that. But like I said, these agreements beforehand about splitting things, and that really muddies the water. And that's exactly what's happening. I promise you. Drug dealing often involves cartels, right? Yep. And that's what I'm saying. Like later in this video, Ryan tries to act like, the way he's painting him is like, oh, he's just like this perfect, like clean cut guy. And it's just not the case, If you don't want people to come out and correct it, like tell the truth.
Their payment that they earned here, that's how they bring it to us. Yeah. So when you heard about it, you assumed that must have been the case.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first thing coming to mind.
And Frank, this wasn't a conspiracy. It was just the normal life cycle of a beat up farm truck. Rumors of a connection between the Hills and the Wells family were fueled by a single night in 2022, a car crash at 1 a.m. where Paul Hill gave Don Wells a ride home. Connection between the Hills and the Wells family were fueled by a...
So what I don't understand is he's saying this. Okay. Hey, hold on one second. I need to tell Fred something. So here he shows that photo, guys, that I showed you guys like weeks ago. It's on my community wall. Okay. So this just proves to you guys that once again, you heard it here first, and Ziggy wasn't lying once again. This is the photo that Ryan is showing you right now on his video, okay? I put this on my community wall weeks ago. But tell me why he's trying to tell you guys this is 2025. Why? I don't understand that. Guys, this photo has a timestamp on it. It's December 5th, 2024 at 2:40 a.m. The crash was not in 2025. If it was, then what the fuck is this picture, and why is Don doing it? What is Don doing at the end of Paul's driveway then? This is the picture you're showing. And I've also received this picture and was told this was Don Wells wrecked at the end of Paul Hill's. And that is Paul Hill's driveway. But this is not 2025. This is December 5th, 2024. Why is he lying about that? What is the point of that? I don't understand. He's putting on the screen, oh, this crash occurred at 2025.
Single night in 2022, a car crash at 1 a.m. where Paul Hill gave Don Wells.
So he said
between the Hills and the Wells family were fueled by a single night in 2022. A car crash.
He says, so at 2022, I think he mean that what he saw it come out. That was probably an honest mistake. That was probably the DUI he got in 2022. But on the screen, he tells you guys it was 2025. He goes, it actually occurred in 2025.
A.m. where Paul Hill gave Don Wells a ride home. The Don crash. The picture you showed me. Oh yeah. The Don crashing. It is true.
The picture you showed me. The picture I have right on the screen right here. That has a timestamp of 2024. Why is he trying to say it was 2025? Can you guys give me a theory on why?
Your dad took Don home that night? Mm-hmm. Were they friends? Or was that just like helping a neighbor out?
No, that was like somebody literally at the end of your driveway. You have your neighbors are not close by. It's late at night, and Don walked up to Dad's house because it's either that or take up walking down the roads that
It was at night too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dark. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I found out the direct going out. I didn't know who it was. I didn't find out until days later.
Oh, that's when you just went to check it out?
Yeah. Yeah, it's near my property.
So that's when you took the picture?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as you can see this.
Yeah.
And
did he hit the pole?
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't hit it hard. He hit the
yeah, definitely was not 2025, Ryan.
So he did take Don home. Other than that, they're just neighbors. They know each other's neighbors, not friends. They never hung out.
No. Days later, I asked my dad about who cigarette. Like, who was that? He said, I don't think he said his name. I think he said up there for a girl work missing or something like that.
Okay. That's how he described it.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, he said, took him home. Okay. I can't remember if I called or somebody else called. If there was an affair, it's kind of a bad spot. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I just text bells and they send somebody else. That's how frequent it happens. So.
Do you remember all of the rumors of neighbors saying the dirt was being hauled off the property during and after the search? Me too. In fact, at the time, I believed that was evidence the authorities had found something on the property. Unfortunately, there was a nearby business doing work, and what neighbors saw was pure coincidence.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I knew that shit was so bullshit when I heard it. It's about the barrels of dirt coming off. It didn't make sense at the time.
Dirt and all that. So there's a property, like, I don't know if mine, but they've been digging out behind the house. Well, there's another property on Beach Street that they've been taking the dirt and dumping it there. Just has nothing to do with anything, but there's a white Dodge holding it up trailer going up and down the road.
Up and down Van Hill.
Up and down Van Hill, has been for weeks during, all this going on.
Oh man, that's why I went that.
Exactly, because there was no excavation equipment. Like, no one brought excavation equipment. And it's not like they're going to hop on ours and use it.
Yeah.
So if anything left there, it was in like, a few bucks. Something small. It wasn't.
But you didn't see them? Did you see them take anything at all off?
No.
Okay, so you didn't see them take it?
No. It was people everywhere standing. Was most of what I saw. That was it. Just literally.
Just people standing around while they were searching.
Yeah.
Which, there was, he talks about periods of time that he wasn't there, so he didn't see everything. But he probably is right. If anything was taken off, it probably was like small items. But these next things are just laughable considering what we just watched or earlier. Anyways, listen. Frank's final words to the public.
The main reason we wanted to do this was partly for the community, the people who don't know you guys directly, haven't talked to you, because they're all sitting there in Pizzanitos waiting for something to come out. You know what I mean?
The people that actually know us, the ones that we actually...
Yeah, which doesn't make sense, guys. That's one thing that looks suspicious to me. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like if that happened to me or one of my family members, I feel like somebody would have came forward and been like, dude, it was total bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And nobody did. Nobody came forward and said anything. And this is what we get. We get freaking Frank Hill finally talking for some money for half of everything. That's what we get. And we get freaking them, Ryan not telling us everything. And then I see in his comments, it says, oh, more to come about his thoughts on this and that. Hey, Mark. Ryan, do you really believe this guy is going to be honest and tell you the truth about why LE want to search his property? Yeah, especially if he's asking for money. So that's why I say allegedly on some of the things I'm saying, because I don't know what to believe about this guy, because the stuff I told you earlier about this girl who was supposedly interviewed early on and asked about a ladder rack in her yard and asked about if Paul had ever did anything inappropriate to her, that all came from Frank himself. So that's why I say, allegedly, I mean, because from what I hear, he does kind of like tell a little bit of stories, and also he's asking for money for everything. Like, and I have proof of it too. If Ryan wants to contest this, I have text message proof of dude like being like, asking for straight up money. So, and wanting a percentage. And he also mentioned that he had been talking to Ryan. So that's how I knew certain things. That's how I got that picture. And that's why I put it out, because I want Ryan to know I knew what he was up to and that he better tell the truth. Because that's all I care about is the truth. As long as he put out the truth. That's right. It doesn't find your pockets. Oh man, these names. Hey, when Evil entered. Nobody who really knows his family for years and years stood up to clear. I know. I don't know why. Dude, like I don't know. But so that's what's suspicious, that when he wants to talk out, it has to be about money. And then, we're about to hear his final words, and he's going to talk about, people benefiting in the Summer Wells case and for money, when Ryan freaking just put this up behind a paywall. You guys, are you fucking for real? I have never put anything behind a paywall. I have never put anything members only. If people want to be a member of my channel, they do so because they want to support me. I never do members only lives. And this guy put this on members only. And then he did this video in a way to manipulate you guys. Just like he's about to put me and Fred's picture up in his video when he's talking shit and then acting like, oh, who, me? And you could tell, like, he's got this Frank guy manipulated, think he's like, oh, I've never seen you put any misinformation out. Oh, you blurred our driveway. You're just the greatest guy ever.
We actually there's no issues.
Yeah.
Like I've not lost. Okay, I don't like those first. I've not lost any customers.
I agree with him there in a way, because to tell you guys the truth, like, Fred also, when he first heard their names, was like, he didn't believe it. Like, that's why he didn't think anything like Paul or Frank and them, and that's why he was thinking other people, because he really didn't believe. Now, we could go into, if Frank wants to go into like history and stuff and what really happened, we could, but I'm going to keep that stuff private if he keeps private. But like, there's not a clean history with Paul and those certain ones. So they better not try with any type of misinformation with Mr. Ryan, because I know he loves to ask every single person he talks to about Fred Hill. He turns everything into Fred. And like, just in this video, like, I didn't even know until Fred told me that our picture was in this. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Because I listened to, I was just listening to it, not really paying attention to what he was putting on the screen. And so then that just made me feel like less bad about doing this, because, this is the truth anyways. I'm tired of having to freaking clear up all people's bullshit on here and their lies, and always have to be the bad guy for putting the truth out. Then he sits back and he puts crosses on his freaking, that just disgusts me. His merch has freaking the cross on it. When he has a daughter living in his home who is a practicing satanic. like proud. And he even admitted to it that he just like wanted to let his children, you know, I get that, but like in your home, dude, how can you be a Christian and have that type of stuff in your home? That doesn't even make sense. Ryan is a plant in Summer's case. I know the way he came in and how he intervened like with me and Fred at first, and like how he's trying to paint this narrative, and he wants to like sit there and protect every single person and their like, and people, the public's opinion of them, except Fred. He wants to paint Fred like this horrible monster, you know? And there's clearly an agenda. And it's sad and disappointing that, you know, Frank decided to talk to this guy. I mean, it's happened, it's over with. So what can you do now? But you know, there's so much misinformation out there of people trying to paint Fred this and say Fred said that and said this. Like, who knows what Ryan went and told him that about Fred? You know what I mean? Who knows what kind of fucking bullshit Ryan's telling him? Trying to make it say, like, make him think like Ryan's probably talking bad about him and stuff, which he hasn't. He's actually been really quiet and was actually really shocked to hear, you know their names come up. I mean, Frank has a little bit of a past, and yeah, Paul does. They all do a little bit. But like anything when it comes to a missing child, like he would never think, you know what I mean? And there was that interaction that happened between Frank and Andy on the 14th when Andy stopped by there. It's on recording. Fred got it on recording for police. Andy talked about stopping by Frank Hill, seeing Frank on the 14th when he was going looking for Jackie Dobbs, and talked about some Jeep parts he had. That's weird. I don't know. That's kind of coinky dink. If you ask me, that's kind of weird. Oh, he'll be exposed someday. That's why he goes from one freaking platform to the next, because he always gets exposed. That's why he goes from one subject to the next. Guys, this guy is like a jack of all trades, a master of none. Seriously. Have you guys seen how much shit his background and all the places he's lived? I swear he's probably lived in a neighborhood near you. I mean, he supposedly lived like 10 miles away from me at one point. I'm just like, one of his businesses is registered to like 10 miles away from me or something. I'm like, this guy's had a million different businesses and different ventures. You don't think he's trying to like get rich shit? And like, I mean, he's buying views on his channel. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. If you guys do, if you're a creator, you can tell, you know what's normal. That shit is not normal. Watch what his likes do. Watch when he has only like 100 views on his video and how many likes he has. Like sometimes he'll have more likes than he has views. That is not normal. Yeah. I mean, why is he doing that? Ryan, for the longest time, could have like changed his tune and contacted me and, been like, dude, I'm so sorry. I messed up, blah, blah, blah. No, he can't suck it up. Because why? I don't know. Is he being paid? Is what's going on? Is he just got some kind of big ego and he doesn't want to admit some type of like being wrong? Like, why is he trying so hard to paint Fred a certain way? Like, I don't bug the dude. If he just leaves us alone, but he just keeps like going for us and these stupid little things and trying to pay him like, so that's that stuff. I can't see here in good faith and not point out the fact that he crosses on his merch while having a Satanist living in his house. Everybody else might not talk about the elephant in the room and the truth, but like, that is not normal. That's something weird. That's like mocking God. To me, that's like laughing in God's face.
Matter of fact, that's like it's like they had an excuse to call him.
Yeah.
And then, well, you know what I'm talking to you.
The people who haven't had a chance to talk to you guys may only know you as acquaintances in the community, and they're wondering if something.
He didn't record for law enforcement on the 14th. He recorded on the 15th, 16th, and 17th. And he talked about on a recording about stopping by and seeing Frank on the 14th when he was out. He talked about, like, when everybody was standing at the end of the driveway, Fred was recording him, and Andy was talking about how he had stopped by Frank's, and you know, that whole thing with Jackie Dobbs. He was talking about that whole thing, and that's when Frank Hill's name came up. It wasn't a recording on the 14th. It was just a recording on the 15th talking about the 14th, like the day before. Like, I saw Frank yesterday, you know, when I was out looking for Jackie Dobbs, blah, blah, blah. Because you got to think, at the time, it was the day before. You know, if they were talking on recording on the 15th and they were talking about the night before, the day before, they'd be talking about the 14th. So,
Going to come out of this. In your
thanks
opinion,
for asking, though.
And hit the search to the left.
If they found anything, or if there was actually anything behind it, why they would have loved to make the arrest.
Yeah.
Especially you got a sheriff going on in office. I'm sure he'd love to have that. You know,
solve the case.
So I mean, that's a good motivation out there.
Yeah.
But
any last words you want to say about this whole case?
They want to get the priorities straight with the case. I'm not trying to hate on anybody or nothing like that. I mean, a lot of people trying to make a living, make money, and all that. It's just thoughts. There's some moral issues.
There's some moral issues as this dude is splitting half the proceeds with Ryan, and Ryan puts us through a members only paywall till 5:30 today, guys. You've got to be kidding me. He's about to put me and Fred's picture up here when he's talking about this shit, when I have never once in the history of my channel freaking did a members only live when it came to Summer Wells or anything that I can remember. Who's the fucking grifter? Who's the one that's freaking making up stories and causing narratives, and it's all about the money, Mr. Buying Views? Mr. Buying Views, like, come on, dude. You're such a fake. What a phony this guy is. Mr. Cross is on your freaking merch. Everything about you is fake. Fake Christian, fake psychic, fake persona, fake, like, just everything about you. Fake energy, wolf in sheep's clothing. Gross. And then he has a quote, that seek and thou shalt find. What, seek the devil and you shall find? Like your daughter does? Okay. There's profit. There's proper ways to profit. Okay. Ryan, would you like to show our back offices and compare how much each of us are making? Do you really think I use this as some kind of like big, like I have you seen the freaking super chats pouring in, and any cash apps or anything, Ryan? You put this behind a paywall.
Nonsense. I mean, start a series, just Summer Wells practice, but don't put it in free crime. You know, like there's.
You're saying focus on her case. Focus on her.
When it comes to her case, it's about her. It's not about who said what or whatever. I mean, People point fingers all day long, and all it does is cause.
I mean, what about this dude who's pointing fingers all day long at Fred, who has clearly done more and helped in the case than any other local in that area? But he's trying to paint him as the bad guy. Okay. Why didn't Andy bring that guy up though? I wonder if it's because they were talking, because like he had mentioned that he had seen Frank, and Frank's their cousin, and and he just said that he was out. They were out looking for that Jackie Dobbs. They were talking about all that happened with Jackie Dobbs, and how he was out and had seen that Frank was working on a Jeep, and Andy has some Jeep parts to get rid of. So he stopped by and told him that he had a bunch of Jeep parts. It'd be a way for him to make some money. So he brought it up to Frank, and it came up in conversation on the 15th, and it's on recording. So law enforcement, and I did contact law enforcement and remind them they have this stuff. They need to go back. And I told them that when Fred recorded, Frank's name came up. If that would be helpful, I told them it'd be helpful for them to look over the recordings again.
The energy that is being put into the BS and the unnecessary drama, if you took that energy, imagine what could be accomplished. I'm talking, there is so much that people could accomplish. They could turn their lives around. I mean, really.
I mean, I agree. I agree. Ryan's been on a freaking agenda to try to ruin me and Fred for years. I agree. It is horrible. Like, why? What would be the reason? Do you know how Andy had Dobbs' number? I don't know. I don't think Fred knows either.
Getting displaced. Listen to it. You can't figure out that it's either bait or people arguing amongst each other, not even anything to do with summer. I mean, if you can't.
It is to do with summer when they're trying to paint one of the main witnesses and main ones that helped law enforcement and recorded for law enforcement as suspect, when law enforcement has never questioned Fred as a suspect, but they're trying to paint him as that. Yeah, that is freaking a miscarriage of justice. That is unfair. That is that is sickening, but this guy promotes it. So yes, I agree. It is gross.
For yourself, then I mean, what do we call it? Yeah. I mean, since I didn't follow it, or I followed it, and I just dove into it. Imagine that. It's like, imagine watching this big long series, and you're all of a sudden you go to your friend's house and they're like, "Hey, we're on season 6. Come on in." And it's got a really deep storyline. Yeah. And you have, there's so many things that are so insignificant that aren't irrelevant. They don't matter.
Look at them talking about it don't matter, and then they're going to put up, then he's going to put up pictures of certain creators and stuff, inciting, basically that is adding fuel to the fire. He is trying to cause issues by doing that, by pointing out certain people that he thinks are doing this when he clearly knows what he's doing, while trying to play oh, I'm the good guy.
Because you didn't get fed into the whole circle of things.
I mean, it must feel like a madhouse.
It's the worst thing that's happened to the case has been the unnecessary drama, the misleading, intentional, dramified information that has completely turned everything upside down. In 4.5 years, you could look at YouTube as propaganda. It's that long, you're going to believe it. Even if you were there and saying it yourself.
He has, of course, he has me and Fred up on the camera right now. Dude, you're obsessed with us. Obsessed with us. It's crazy what this guy, how people, he's sitting here baiting you guys with this sad music in the background, this talk about wah, 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 and this and that. And then it has a picture of me and Fred, like we're somehow behind something when he's clearly been attacking Fred this whole time. When I could just bet, here we're going to come out. Every single time he talks to somebody, it has to be about Fred, Fred, Fred. Wonder if he'll ask him about when Andy stopped by there.
Change it. The reality of what happened, it's going to start changing.
That's a good point.
I mean, look at people's stories.
Yeah. Do you think that has caused harm to Summer's case?
I mean, how does it not?
Yeah.
Because then you're sitting there like, okay, this person's story has changed, but did their reality of what happened change? It's kind of sad.
Why are they doing this? This part has nothing to do with Summer Wells. It seriously has nothing. This is just feeding into the drama, feeding into the negativity. That's all that added stuff is. That's just a bunch of noise in the background. It's just all this is to do is to benefit Ryan and to benefit this guy and try to make people feel bad for them for some whatever reason. I don't know what kind of stuff that Ryan has fed him about Fred. I could just freaking imagine. But unfortunately, this is where we're at. And this was behind a paywall just hours ago. And he's talking about people grifting and making money and how there's a time and place for it. And here we have this behind a paywall, and Frank Hill is getting half of all the freaking money. Tell me he's not, Ryan. Tell me he's not. Tell me you're not paying him in good faith. I mean, I don't believe that you're a Christian, but that's just my opinion. I mean, because there's no way as a Christian I could ever see somebody having a Satanist living in their household. That just doesn't make sense to me, okay? Doesn't make sense. But as a Christian, honesty and integrity is super important. I feel. So, can you honestly say you did not pay this guy half of all the money? You literally put this behind a paywall, and it was about Summer Wells. That was a bad move. Should have ran that by somebody. But
If you look why he ended up coming out is because of something. And that's fake. Think of that versus what the majority of stuff you're saying. It's sad. It's really sad that it's like vultures, like almost like in a mockery of it. But that's why.
yeah. Oh, that's why I contacted you. This is so freak. No, why you contacted him? Because you thought you could get the most money out of him and convince him that that's why. You knew what you were doing. Every single person you contacted, you wanted money from. Stop lying. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
Frank Hill came forward to clear his family's name and respond to the rampant.
No, he didn't. Because if he didn't come forward, you're paying him. You're paying him. So you both benefit. It's a money thing for both of you guys. You are such a fake. Such a fake. None of my interviews in the history of my channel, my Fred Hill interviews, my tree trimming interviews, Candace and Dawn interviews, the phone call, all the stuff I've done and people I've talked to, I've never once put anything behind a paywall. Ever.
across the internet.
Ugh.
And in doing so, he gave us the missing context of this investigation. We now know the TBI had a specific theory about the red Toyota Tacoma. We know they ran cadaver dogs,
which is very weird considering this girl according to Frank, claims that that there was a girl questioned about a ladder rack that was in her front yard. And somehow this gets tied back to Paul, and then somehow they ask her about some kind of inappropriate contact with Paul. I don't understand this, but this is stuff that Frank told somebody. And that happened early on in the case. And somebody just came in here and confirmed it and said that they heard the same thing from a girl, and they are a local, about this girl claiming, there's something about a ladder rack in her yard, and the law enforcement asked her. And this was supposed to be early on after Summer went missing. And so to learn that Paul's name came up back then, I had no idea about this until recently. That is very, very, very weird that they would be focused on Paul for so long, because they just had this search warrant recently. They had to have had some kind of really, really good evidence to get that search warrant, and then to learn that there was these weird accusations or these weird questions or being asked to this young, well, I don't even know her age. I assume she's young, but I don't know her age. I know her first name, but I'm not going to say it I'm not going to say it. But, it's weird that this girl was questioned about Paul years ago. And then here we are years later with this search on Van Hill at Paul's. That is important. And there's little things like that. It's not little. Those are big. That's a big deal, because he's not telling you everything. He's trying to paint things a certain way, and I'm pretty much done listening to that. You guys know where to find the guy if you want to watch the video. So we showed the vehicle earlier of Don Wells' red Subaru wrecked at the end of Paul Hill's driveway. It clearly said at the top of the photo, December 2024. I have no idea why. I don't know what that was. I don't know why Ryan was trying to act like that wreck happened in 2025, but I also have that same picture and it has a timestamp. He on purpose cut out the timestamp, puts up the post or puts up the picture, and then acts like it happened in 2025. I don't know why, and I don't understand why he would want to lie about the date of that wreck. But maybe you guys have some theories. But it was December 5th, let me see. I showed it earlier. Let me look. Jeez Louise. December 5th, 2024. So they talk about this picture in this video, and Ryan's trying to paint it as 2025. So we showed that. Ryan, I'm just going a quick recap before I go, of what we went over. So we went over the inappropriate, supposedly this girl being questioned years ago about some kind of inappropriate like asking him if there was any inappropriate contact from Paul. We went over the date on the photo here. Also, he failed to also mention that Paul and his wife were questioned for hours at the sheriff's office. Also, he also failed to mention that, yes, that the truck did not have a ladder rack, but it did have a cataract. I put a note here about the money thing. Frank was paid, and Ryan was putting this on members only. Yeah, because I have text, and if he wants to, if they want to refute that, I have absolute proof of him going around to people and asking for money, in order for footage and all that kind of stuff. I have some other stuff here. Oh, so one thing I forgot to mention is that he tried to act like kind of distance himself from the Wells. I do know that Paul had done work for the Wells property back for Karen. They used Paul to log the property at one point. We do know that for sure, at least and that was a while back, but Paul supposedly injured himself and had been sedated due to some kind of operation. And supposedly, while sedated, he said some things that concerned the staff, and the staff contacted law enforcement. Supposedly that had something to do with the search warrant, but I don't know. That doesn't seem like enough evidence to me to get a search warrant. That's something that came from Frank, but I don't know. Frank definitely does have a history, guys. He does not have a squeaky clean past. Neither does any of those people, but neither does Fred. So I'm just saying, but we're just putting out the truth here. We're not rewriting reality like Ryan. Yeah, the whole mockery of God on his merch and stuff. I just saw it today. That really made me disgusted. But okay, I think that's it, guys. I appreciate you guys so much for being here. Wait, let me see. Oh my gosh. Okay, somebody sent Fred a message. Thank you for that message. I appreciate that. And so supposedly somebody from a source, guess we should say, claims that, I don't know, a family member supposedly turned something in with some, I don't know, that's a rumor too. I don't know if that's true or not. But I mean, it does seem like they were focused on the hogs, so that is one thing we did get from Ryan's video that was useful, is that to know that they seemed interested in the hogs. You're welcome, Paula. She said, thanks for filling in the blanks. Thank you guys so much. I told you guys I want to be back unless there was really something to talk about. There really hasn't been anything to talk about. And usually Ryan has nothing worth my attention. But I can't sit here and just let him repaint history, because that's where I see things going. He has more to come, I saw. So you guys, buckle your seatbelt.
Well, don't make no sense to me if he was under sedation and stuff and was speaking stuff about some of Wells and stuff for them enough that they can get a search warrant for his place, and at the same time him supposedly not knowing
nothing about the wells and stuff, how would he be speaking on something if he didn't already know something about something?
Yeah. See, I don't
That's
know.
my issue.
I just wonder which of these stories are really true, or what, like how well. I mean, he sounds like he likes to tell a little bit of stories. I don't know what to. I mean, oh, thank you, Mark. I did those today. I don't really like how pointy they are, so I'll probably never do them like this shape again. But yeah, I just used polygel forms and UV, and then I used a foil and foil gel. They aren't really watching him, Laura. He buys views. I mean, a video like this might get some views, but like his one today, but he absolutely buys views. It is not normal to have that like ratio of likes to views at all. I promise you. 10%. I tell people this. If you have 10% likes to views, like you're doing really, really good. Like Ryan's videos, sometimes I've seen his likes sometimes more than his views before. Like if you catch him in an early upload, yeah, that's how you know when somebody's buying views. And he, remember how he first started? It was like David walks for David, and that didn't get the attention that he wanted, so he changed his tune. And then you look into the guy; he's lived all over the place. He's done everything. He's worked for everything. He's an expert in freaking everything. Like that's not possible. Okay, nobody can be that. Like. He's too worried about views and stuff like that. It's putting stuff behind paywalls and then putting something behind a paywall wall, and then it's like a fourth of your video is talking about the gross, like how gross it is about people making money off summer wells and all that stuff, and this money, but there's a time and a place to make money, but yet you put that video behind a paywall. That was so freaking distasteful. Is that a word? Distasteful? That was so I mean, none of these people are aware of anything beyond their freaking nose, I guess. Yeah, exactly. Expert. It's laughable. It's just not possible. There's no way you can have no. I mean, he has supposedly has all these videos on Mormonism, and then he was in the UFO community, conspiracy community. Then he did this like walks for David. Then you look into him, he has a gazillion different tech websites and different like ventures that he starts, and then he hires like these like weird like these people that I don't even know if they're real people. I mean, they're the most shadiest websites. But that's there's anyways. I mean, I guess nobody would understand like me and Fred, because he's out of everybody, he's been trying to he's been trying to paint Fred a certain way, and make him this like horrible person, and he just has this like hard on for Fred. It's crazy, dude. Like, dude, like it's crazy. I can't wait till we get some type of truth, like absolute truth from law enforcement and stuff. It's going to be so hilarious. And Ryan's like, I think Ryan's probably the first person that I just want to rub the truth in his face. It's going to be so hilarious, dude. I mean, what can he say? These people say when the absolute proof comes out about Fred like recording for law enforcement and Andy being on the road, like that's all we basically have said. And what was said on those recordings, like nothing more, nothing less. So tried to be as honest as possible. And when we've realized we've been wrong, we try to correct it. Hey Q. Is that Q Carlock? Anyways, let me see if I missed any. Sorry, I just got more like I wish I could show it. I promised the person I wouldn't show these, but like more proof of it being about money with this Ryan and Frank character. I just got more proof. And that also like of him contradicting himself. Like in this video, he talks about how he has made more business because of all this, but like he's telling other people, oh, he's losing money. He needs to make up money, and that's why he needs to do this and do that with Summer's case and stuff. Yeah, this is all a money grab, dude. And Ryan's helping him. Just watch. TV show. No, but hi. I have no sights towards Fred. I have never thought Fred had anything to do with Summer being missing. Yeah, and Blue, they've never, Fred's never been questioned as a suspect ever. All the information has always been, Fred coming to them with information. The first time they did come to him to try to ask him to record, and the first day, and he did. And I think those recordings are really, really helpful. And I sometimes wonder if that has something to do with the search because, on those recordings, it comes up that Andy stopped by Frank's, but Frank wasn't even on his property. He was like across this. He was like where he was like across the street or something, which was on the back end of Paul's property or something, from my understanding. But anyways, like little things you wouldn't think were important until like you hear their names come up. You know what I mean?
The only thing TBI done is just took a statement from me.
Yeah, and Fred has been, signed to be a witness.
And we signed it, and that was it.
And you've agreed to testify, right? Oh, okay. So I just see where this is going because Ryan's going to keep going with this. I saw in the comments that he was trying to say, oh, more to come. Oh, we're going to get his opinion on this and that. And I could tell at the end with him showing our picture, me and Fred's picture, that where he was going, and he's going to try to start going after Fred again. So, like, I guess we're just putting certain things out there before And if we have to correct other things in the future because of lies, then I guess we're going to have to, with proof, if possible. Yeah, I would love to compare me and Ryan's like back office of how much we've made. Dude, it'd be like embarrassing for me. It's funny how he's trying to paint me and Fred while he's sitting there putting this video behind a paywall. That's what's just so irritating to me. It's so out there in the open, and people still somehow don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. And keep your prayers definitely for Tiffany and her mourning process. You know, it's definitely been like up and down for sure. So, anyways, but Rihanna's son is definitely, that is definitely good news because that was, he's definitely on the mend. Good night, everybody. I'll talk to you later.